Oh, I see it's being recorded.
I know I'm muted. Happy Monday, or it's not Monday, it's Tuesday, right? Isn't that fun? Always a fan.
We need more holidays on Fridays.
Well, I got one coming up.
That's awesome. Very short week.
Yeah, weird week. Lots to do, though. All right, it is 3 o'clock. We haven't hit the Alex quorum yet, so let's just give it another 2 minutes, and we'll jump in. But today's presenter is Ron Rubens. We'll turn it over to him in just a second.
Just need 6 more. We're on our way. 5 more.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good long weekend.
Is that a framed puzzle back there?
No, it's a mosaic, actually, that my great aunt made. She's an artist.
Oh, it looks nice.
So we have a few of her pieces. Yeah, it's all like individual like tile shards she put together.
Oh, wow.
Tom, you just turned this into Adam's presentation again.
Nice.
Sorry.
I was actually thinking over the weekend that I never really did like the PowerPoint version of the presentation that other people did. I just did like some silly things. So I don't know. Maybe I'll throw together a PowerPoint and do one of those one of these days.
But only if PowerPoints make you happy.
Well, they do. Especially
I
when I'm
didn't.
done.
I didn't do a PowerPoint.
I didn't either. Old school.
Old school. There we go, Tom. You and I, old school.
All right.
Pictures, real pictures, authentic.
Let's get started. I'm sure more people will join, but I know everyone's pretty busy coming back and catching up from the weekend. So, Ron, your show.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Hello, Nedit workers. Happy Tuesday. I am going to do PowerPoint, but it is a slideshow. It was easier for me to put all the pictures in slideshow format. I got quite a bit to go through, so I'm going to go at a pretty rapid pace. So let's go ahead and get started. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Ron Rubens. I am an enterprise sales rep. I am on the NetSuite team, although I have been involved in sales cycles with Sage products and Acumatic as well. So I'm trying to be multifaceted. I work from my home office in Plantation, Florida, which is a suburb of Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to start out and give you a little background about myself, and then I'll talk about my family, what makes me happy. So as some of you may know, I've actually been an entrepreneur. I've started a couple companies in my life in kind of around I guess 99, 2000. I started a company in IT training and certification called Intense School. We did IT boot camps for Microsoft, Cisco, and information security. That was being in the right time, right place. It was a good sector to be in at the time. When the bubble bursts is when I really learned about accounting. Right? I knew how to make sales and put butts in seats, but I really learned a lot of things about accounting the hard way. So I had to go to Internet Archives to actually find some old pictures from the website. This was a walkathon. This was I guess a small class, right? There's me, and this was when denim shirts were popular. If anybody remembers that. After I got out of that business, I merged my favorite hobby with my business style, and I started. I didn't want to build a brand this time, so I made a deal with what was the Microsoft of poker at the time, and I became the World Poker Tour Boot Camp. So this is a picture from our website. This is a woman's. These two women were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they were instructors. This is me giving the orientation at one of our kind of larger events called the Champions event. This is me giving out a big trophy, and this is me at a poker table. I've got tons of poker stories I could tell, but in this short amount of time we have today, I'm not really going to go through any of them, but I do have a couple other poker slides to show you. So this is some of the instructors. If any of you are poker fans, you might recognize this is TJ Cloutier, he's pretty famous. Gavin Smith, Kathy Liebert, Coney Gowan, Linda Johnson, Hoyt Corkins, Todd Brunson. At the bottom, I kind of put this in here. I looked, there's some poker books I've been quoted in. This is actually me teaching a lab. We would do lab exercises. This is me in the deepest I ever got in a multi-day event. I didn't win any money. It was a celebrity invitational. This guy's an actor. I've seen him in some of the things before. This girl who's a reality star just destroyed me in a hand. I had a way better hand than her, but she made a terrible move, but got lucky and knocked me down to very little chips. So this is not one of my happier times in poker, but it was a professional photograph I did find. So nice quote I have here: the smart people in life are the ones that when they hit a roadblock, they push through it. A lot of people give up at that point. They just stop and stick where they are in life. There are a small number of people that continue to persist. So I thought that was a good quote that really reaches outside of poker. So if you happen to read The Shark and the Fish, you'll see my name quoted in there. Some other people that I met in my poker days, these were all people that had worked with me in teaching at poker camps. This guy is Antonia Sfondiari, known as the Magician. Jennifer Tilley, who is dating a very famous poker player. She's actually has some good success and also an actress. This is the Brunson family. This guy right here is known as the godfather of poker. This is his son. His son did some workshops with me. This is Scotty Wynn, pretty famous poker player, says baby at the end of every sentence. And this was one crazy night where I got to play poker and hang out with Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. So that was a really big treat for me. It was kind of a surprise. Okay, that's enough about poker. This is some childhood pictures. That's me in the middle with a terrible haircut. That is my sister on the left and my brother. So my sister Karen, my older brother Fred, he's known as Effie now. These are some other early child pictures. Boy Scouts was a big part of my life growing up. If any of you were in Boy Scouts or Scouts, I'm crossing a monkey bridge, which was a big deal for us. When we were in Boy Scouts, we'd always build these big monkey bridges. This is a picture in my 20s doing some deep sea fishing. Fortunately, I live in a place, I don't do it very often anymore, but I live near the ocean, so there's some great deep sea fishing here. So on my left here is my sister Karen. She is my younger sister. She is a hairdresser who is just starting to cut people's hair again. She's happy to start working. This is from a trip to Scotland we went on last year for a wedding. And on the right is my brother Fred. Fred lives in Israel. He has 3 kids. One of them is living here. And my sister lives in Hollywood, Florida, nearby, and she has 1 son. This is my parents on the left. My father passed away about 10 years ago from Parkinson's. I'm pretty close with my mother. On the right, this story has a little back. I'm probably 17 here. So I don't know if some of you might remember how Fort Lauderdale Strip was like the place to go for spring break. So my friends and I would go there when we were in high school with our fake IDs, and we considered it our place. So we called ourselves native strippers. We thought that was funny. We the joke went around long enough that we actually went ahead and got shirts made, and we all wore these native stripper shirts. This is my wife of 26 years, Tracy. This is, I think, the year before we were married during 4th of July. This is our wedding picture. We enjoy going for bike rides. We have a nice cool tandem bike. It's kind of broken now, so we're really biking on separate bikes, but we still, especially during, this kind of shutdown, going for bike rides in the afternoon, after work has been really nice. In the right is a kind of an outdoor concert at a local park. I'm a big fan of going to small, mediocre bands and small venues. I would much prefer that than seeing a big, a more reputable band in a big concert hall. I like small venues, small parks. My wife is very creative. She was an elementary school teacher, a student. She's a coach of student teachers. She's Jewish, but she didn't grow up with any religion at all. So I made her watch the movie 10 Commandments before bringing her to my parents' house for Passover. She, late in life, when our kids started going to a Jewish preschool, she started to go to classes and eventually got bat mitzvahed as an adult, which is very impressive. It's very hard to do, to learn a new language, especially something like Hebrew as an adult. So I was very impressed. In the picture on the left is a game she made up called Jeopardy, but for Jewish trivia. She's very into doing things that are creative and fun. I'm very close with my mother. I try to see her at least once a week, even during this pandemic. We've been having social distancing lunches and dinners together. Before that, we would regularly on Sundays. My wife teaches Sunday school, so I would go pick up bagels and play Rummy Cue with my mother, which you can see us doing that on the right. I thought I'd insert this. This is my mother's grandmother, so my great-grandmother. And I'm only putting this in because I was just talking about it and I heard this sort of interesting story. So that's her on the left. She's the tall woman on the left. On the right, she is in the middle. That is her 100th birthday party. She was born in 1879, died in 1984. She lived to 105. So the funny story is that her first husband was dying of, it doesn't really sound like a funny story, but dying of tuberculosis. And she, in their village in Romania, she wanted to get a divorce, which is called a get, a Jewish divorce called a GET, get. And she was telling the story, and the explanation she was giving, there was some trouble in the translation until we finally figured out the reason that she wanted to get the divorce, because in the village, she would be required to marry her husband's brother. Seems pretty crazy. And her husband's brother ran a brothel. So it was funny when we finally figured out the interpretation of what she was trying to say. So family makes me happy. This is from my oldest son's bar mitzvah. We had a lot of family get together. I am always thankful and appreciative when I can get my family together, and love taking big family pictures. I don't have it for the slideshow, but I have 17 Thanksgiving group photos in a row. We have not continued that chain, but we did do 17 in a row. So this is my oldest son, Jesse. He's 24. He is graduated from FAU for political science. He's very active politically. He has a job that has managed to transition to totally over the phone. So I'm happy that he's still working. And he lives at home to save money. So very proud of him. Most people say that I look the most like him when they see younger pictures of me. This is my middle son, Bryce. He's 20. Bryce goes to University of Central Florida. On the left, this is us at a AEPI tailgating event. On the right is my favorite picture I ever took of him. He's always been a big athlete, of him kicking that soccer ball. My wife coached him sometimes. I mean, I really enjoyed getting to watch my son play sports. So we would go to a lot of events. And then I have three. So, and the last one is my daughter, Maggie. So these are both pretty recent pictures. Maggie is just graduated high school. She was very active in debate. The left is a picture from January. I took the day off. She applied for this scholarship at University of South Florida that only took 2 people per school year. And I took the day off and I prepped her the entire drive from Plantation to Tampa, about 4 hours, to be ready for her 20-minute interview. She did the 20-minute interview, and then we got the news on the drive home that she got selected for the scholarship, and it's a completely full ride with a lot of benefits to it. She also got accepted to the University of Florida, but we figured she made the decision that USF was going to be a better fit for her. So very proud of her. So all 3 of my kids are working. I'm very happy. She works at a local Italian restaurant. My middle son, Bryce, is working for a call center, handling unemployment calls in the state of Florida, which is actually quite depressing, but he's working. And so here's another family picture. The right, this is a debate banquet. Both Bryce and Maggie, the middle 2 kids, were very active in debate. This is us at the Friends set on Warner Brothers Studio. This is from a camping trip, Reeswell, a vacation. I like camping. My family's not a huge fan of camping, so this is, I kind of found a kind of middle ground. This is a container house in Jupiter, Florida. Really was a lot of fun. It's, you get kind of a little bit of camping because it's in the woods. We did go canoeing nearby, and it's hard to see, but we're canoeing right by alligators. There's a better picture. You can see the alligator with the turtles right there on the wood.
Well, that'll keep you awake.
Yeah, definitely made it an interesting, definitely kept, you definitely think like, wow, why do they let people do this? They let people kayak right by these alligators, but I guess they don't have any problems. Some family pictures, over the years. These are, they're all bigger now, but some family pictures. Anybody seen this one from Morro Bay? I like this picture. It looks kind of funny because you can see the goat is actually eating my pocket in this picture right here, and my daughter's noticing it. So I thought that was kind of a funny picture. This is from I think this is from my daughter's bat mitzvah. Again, I really enjoy family gatherings. The one on the right looks like a Passover Seder from my mother's house. So again, big. These are definitely things that make me happy, getting to spend time with my family. We love Segways and bikes. So typically when I take my family on vacation, we are going to rent bikes or Segways. They prefer Segways because there's less work. If you haven't done a Segway trip with your friends or family, I highly recommend it. Even someone that doesn't have good balance, they're very, very easy to use and a lot of fun. So on the left is the absolute most popular member of my family, Brody. There are times where I'm completely ignored by my kids. They walk right by me to go hang out with Brody. And this is on the right. I'm at a high school football game. One of my good friends is a coach of a good football team, high school football team here in Florida, and I go to some of those games. And then just on personal things, I like to play pool. I play billiards with my friends probably a couple times a month, not lately. And then this is a guy's trip. And since I didn't submit any drinks previously, but pineapple and 1800 tequila is my favorite. And I'll drink some Johnny Walker Black Label if that's not available. Let's see. I think I'm almost at the end. So this is my last slide. I think during the COVID, what's going on now, being kind of locked in and not being able to go out, I mean, the benefits are, prior to this, my family never sat down to eat dinner together. It was very, very rare. Everybody has work schedules and school schedules. And now that we are home, we are having, at least 3 to 4 times a week, we are having a family dinner, although that looks like breakfast. And we are making Each time we do a family dinner, one family member is responsible as the gamekeeper, and we play, whether it's a card game or Pictionary, or play some game after dinner. And also, I haven't played poker very much lately, but since the shutdown, I've been invited to my regular game. Some of us don't even live locally anymore. Our old poker game meets regularly for a $5 buy-in tournament, and I'm actually getting invited to other online poker games, so that's kind of nice. And that is it. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much
Thanks,
for
Ron.
sharing.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
You are
Hey,
welcome.
Ron, thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Ron. And also just
That was great.
a little shout out to Ron. He was very flexible with the scheduling. We had to move some stuff around to free up Friday. So thank you, Ron, for moving stuff around and being able to present today. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Great
Thank you.
show. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Talk to y'all tomorrow.